boys, but you can't stop me any more than you can stop the rain, the wind, or lightning.
Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Yeah, I'm just in a superhero mood, no idea when it's gonna end. Today we're finally diving into Superman the Animated Series to take a look at the episode Livewire. Why? Well, other than I was going to get to Superman eventually, if I'm being honest, I don't really have a good reason. This episode isn't heavily requested or super important or anything, but of all the episodes I've rewatched so far of this show, this one kind of stuck out to me in a way. I had a lot of fun watching it, and I figured it's been a while since I've done just a simple, fun review. The episode starts, first time reviewing the show, so we gotta do context in the intro first. Actually, as far as context goes, you don't really need much. It's the typical Superman story. Alien baby gets sent from his dying planet to a farm on Earth, grows up with a heart of gold, and moves to the city using his alien powers to help people. In fact, I'd wager this is the version most of you intellectuals think of when someone says the word Superman, especially if you're a millennial. As for the intro, music is good, very iconic. Other than that, I'm not too fond of it, what with it having no unique animation. Still, this one is slightly more entertaining than other clip shows because it at least is trying to tell a cohesive story. We start with the Krypton origin, transition into Clark discovering his powers, then a barrage of Superman moments with a splash of characters from Clark Kent's life when the softer part of the music plays. Though, when it gets to the part of Clark discovering his powers, I always hear an announcer in my head saying, "Faster than a speeding bullet, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound." But there's no moment showing he's more powerful than a locomotive. It makes the whole thing feel unfinished. Anyway, the episode starts with a radio station being broadcasted all over Metropolis. The host, whose name is Leslie Willis, goes by the stage name Livewire and begins trash-talking Superman.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am sick and tired of this Superman guy. You hear me, Metropolis? Sick.
That voice belongs to Lori Petty for anyone interested. Not a name I usually see, but I appreciate her performance here. I think it works perfectly for what the show is going for.
But then I turn on the TV, and there he is, on every lousy channel. Big surprise! There he is again on the front page of the Daily Planet.
Okay, obviously Leslie is supposed to come across as a contrarian, and we all know how I feel about those, but she does have a point. If you're seeing something all the time without a break, even if it's something you appreciate, you're gonna get sick of it. Just ask any parent how they feel about their toddler's favorite song. Still, I feel like it's pretty gutsy to talk down Superman in Metropolis. Are people hate listening to this?
Am I the only one who's physically ill from this count's pathetic devotion to that phony flying Boy Scout?
Amen to that, sister. I hear you.
Oh geez, people actually agree with her. I mean, I guess this is still pretty early in Supes' career. The godlike worship people have of him wouldn't necessarily be at its peak, but I'm still a little shocked given this is in the middle of season 2.
No one's that nice for free, people. The man of steel is pulling the steel wool over your eyes.
A little self-report there. Pro tip, whenever someone claims no one does X or everyone does X, whether what they're saying is true or not, they just confirm that they believe it's true for them. We transition to the station where Leslie is broadcasting, and oh good gravy, she's got a goth aesthetic. Millennials, Zoomers, calm down or I will get the spray.
Get a load of this old fogey. What's the matter, Gramps not getting enough prunes?
Why is her jacket 3 times the size it needs to be? This bothers me a lot.
Line 3, speak your tiny little mind.
Like zoinks, Velma. When are you gonna grow out of this phase and come back? Yeah. Just outside the studio, we see Lois and Clark listening in, as well as waiting so that Lois can give Leslie an interview. Not sure why Clark needed to be here for that, but whatever.
How can you just sit there while she spews that trash about Superman?
That's what shock jocks do, Lois. They create controversy, stir things up.
I appreciate Clark's ability to not care that someone's talking smack, especially since he's the one being dragged through the ringer, but at the same time, Lois's annoyance is justified. A person stirring up trouble just for the sake of it is prone to cause more harm than good. This is how good people get accused of bad things with zero evidence. And if Leslie turns enough people in the city against Superman, it's gonna make his job a lot harder. I mean, I think she has the right to do what she's doing, but I very much disapprove of her doing it.
She's all set for your interview now.
Now? But we were supposed to interview her after the show.
Yeah, but if that happened, Lois, she'd be on your turf. You wouldn't be on hers. And you're both people who like to show your claws when you talk.
What's the deal with you and Superman, huh? Come on, you're always getting exclusives with him. Just how exclusive are you two?
Oh crap, girl came in swinging. You're not gonna fall for that, are you, Lois? Speaking of falling, that dude from earlier faces karmic justice for not appreciating Superman in a Superman show.
Come on, Lois, just between us girls.
There's nothing to tell.
How did he hear that? I mean, I know he has super hearing, but the whole point of those things is to cancel out noise. Yeah, what am I complaining about? Comic Superman can somehow hear things in the vacuum of space.
Darned kids. In my day, sound didn't travel through space.
Something wrong, Mr. Kent? Am I boring you?
As a matter of fact, you are.
It is very unprofessional to walk out during an interview, but then again, it was also very unprofessional for Leslie to host it over the radio without warning. I'm trying to find an excuse because I really like that Clark did that. Lois asks Leslie what exactly her problem with Superman is. Leslie gives a list of problems saying 1, Supes is never around when you need him, 2, everything is easy for him, and 3, all he cares about is himself. As she's saying this, the scene keeps switching to Superman struggling to stop the construction disaster, essentially proving Leslie wrong. From this we can gather that Leslie doesn't have a leg to stand on. It might seem obvious that the antagonistic force of a show is in the wrong, but lots of times stories will give criticism to the hero as a way of starting up a conversation. It helps keep the hero humble, as well as the audience watching. Just because your intent is to help people doesn't mean you're going about it the best way. However, that's not what's happening here. Leslie is being narratively set up to be a force the audience will root against, and Superman is being reinforced as the character we're supposed to love. It's very surface level, but there's nothing wrong with it, at least not on its own. There's always the possibility that Leslie is meant to represent actual Superman criticism, as well as she's being used as a straw man, but I have no way of knowing if that's the case. Before signing off, Leslie advertises her ceremony happening later that evening.
Do you really believe that garbage you say about Superman? Or is it just a way to get ratings?
Lois, you're a news reporter, and part of Leslie's career is hating Superman. If she didn't actually believe it, I doubt she would tell you.
Look, baby, to make it in this town, I had to be better, sharper, and louder than any man to get half as much notice. And nothing was handed to me on a silver platter either, unlike your friend Superman.
Oh. That is one nasty case of victim mentality. My good, I can actually taste how disgusting it is.
Looks like Mother Nature isn't one of your faithful fans.
She'll come around. Everybody else does.
A little insight to Leslie's mentality: no matter how much she acts up, eventually people cave to her way of thinking and support her. We fade to the Livewire celebration where, despite the dangerous weather, the show is going on as scheduled.
Shut it down. Are you crazy?
The police are saying it's too dangerous.
Listen, Sid, I've worked my entire life for this moment, and a little rain's not gonna stop me, you hear?
Notice how Leslie only thinks about how shutting things down will affect her status and not the well-being of the fans who came to see her. Getting TanaCon flashbacks.
The authorities want to shut the party down.
What are we gonna?
Seeing that people are now in danger, Clark, who was covering the event with Lois, decides to switch into his other blue suit.
You have to stop this. Can't you see you're putting these people in danger?
I'm the ringmaster of this circus, and I tell these clowns what to do, not the papers and not some pumped-up freak of nature in a cape.
Again, notice the focus. Superman is concerned about everyone's safety. He knows Leslie has influence over the crowd and is telling her to use it responsibly. Leslie, however, sees this as a challenge to her power. She feels the need to reinforce that the people there don't listen to Superman so that she can relish in what she's built. Suddenly, lightning strikes the event. Superman attempts to push Leslie out of the way and take the lightning himself.
Because that's what heroes do.
But the result is that the lightning jumps through him onto her. Leslie, barely conscious, gets carried off by Superman to a hospital.
It was touch and go for a while, but the prognosis seems to be good. I can't explain her skin discoloration, but then again, I can't explain why she's alive either.
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
She's going to be okay.
How come you didn't push her out of the way?
There wasn't time.
No, Clark. The correct response is, what are you talking about? I literally did.
She said some pretty awful things about you. Maybe this was your way of paying her back.
I know reporters are supposed to ask the hard-hitting questions. This man is just doing his job, but you can't expect me not to be annoyed at the guy.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Excuse you? Look what you did to me.
I should be furious. Livid at that complete lack of responsibility and self-awareness. But I'm just so doggone happy someone took that tint Leslie called a jacket off of her. As Leslie starts to throw a tantrum, electrical appliances around her begin acting up. It soon dawns on her that maybe her change wasn't purely cosmetic. Yet another innocent television casualty.
What a brave man going in the line of duty like that! Why?
Sorry, kids, I can't play with you anymore. I've got bigger fish to fry. metropolis, my metropolis. If I can make it here, I can make it anywhere.
Okay, she's starting to grow on me. Wait, why? Why would you just jump to becoming a supervillain? You're pure energy. Do you know how much of a positive change you could make to the world?
But I don't want to make a positive change. I want to be a supervillain.
That's enough, Miss Willis.
Not Ms. Willis anymore.
Okay, she's superpowered now, but don't be intimidated, Superman. Try to imagine her in her underwear.
Livewire!
Oh no, she's hot!
Neat, huh? I ionize the air around me. Pretty form-fitting, don't you think?
How do you know how to do that? Where's the training montage? Freaking Mary Sue.
Come back to the hospital. They might be able to help you.
Okay, Soups, I appreciate the concern. It's very in character, and I wouldn't expect you to act any other way. But I still gotta ask, why would anyone want to give up what she just got? Livewire and Superman proceed with some superhero shenanigans, which, geez, it took us a while to get here, didn't it? Also, it doesn't even last that long. Superman gets blasted once, Livewire causes a citywide blackout, and then leaves. I mean, I'm thankful the episode isn't trying to meet an unnecessary action quota, but I feel like we could have gotten a little more in. Some time passes, and Livewire does eventually restore some power to the city, but only so she can make her demands.
I've done this so that you, my adoring and helpless public, can gaze upon moi, your lovely queen of all media.
He starts monologuing.
Livewire says that since she now controls everything electrical, she wants all the money that would normally get sent to companies responsible for things like electricity and phones. However, before she can finish her rant, she finds she has to suddenly depart. Superman realizes that this means she's going to need a recharge.
Matter, guys? Never seen a girl before?
Not in real life. I mean, ha! Funny joke. Yeah. So you have super strength now? What was that? Superman shows up wearing some rubber gloves, then uses super speed to take them off so he can dramatically put them back on. More superhero shenanigans happen, and unfortunately, Livewire is able to start recharging. Before she can get her batteries full though, Supes decides to take things outside.
Well, at least now we know you hit girls.
The hammer of justice is unisex.
So this is a fight with an electric supervillain that takes place at a dam.
I wonder what will happen.
To wrap things up, Superman fixes the dam with his heat vision, finds Livewire, and takes her somewhere. Not Stryker Island. I'm not sure where she is. Maybe Star Labs? It's revealed that Luthor volunteered to fund Leslie's care, which I guess is just a nod to the fact that he enjoyed her anti-Superman rants. I thought this detail was being mentioned as a foreshadow that Leslie would eventually get free due to Luthor's manipulation, but the next time we see this character, she escapes of her own volition and joins up with Parasite, not Luthor.
To be honest, I'll kind of miss her not being on the air again. She really knew how to shake things up, you know?
I feel like there's a lot of equipment in this room that a girl made of electricity can use to her advantage, and that was Livewire. A nice, fun episode, albeit not one with much depth. There was potential for commentary and criticism on Superman, but instead the episode is used more as just a standard action story, which, like I said, is why I reviewed it. Well, there's that, but also, I just really like Livewire. I think she's my favorite supervillain so far in this show. I know that's kind of weird since she has a personality I would normally detest, but I mean, she's a villain. If she was portrayed as a good guy or even just a regular person, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed her antics as much. But if a story is saying, hey, this person you're supposed to root against has all these traits you don't like, well, that's just cathartic. Plus, regardless of my taste in people, Livewire is still funny and her design is freaking awesome, which, fun fact, this character was made specifically for this show. Add her with Harley Quinn to the list of Timverse originals that won me over. Now, even though this is a very simple episode, that's not to say there's nothing one can get here, because it does teach a lesson, and it's one that's rather relevant to my occupation, the responsibility of power. I mean, a good chunk of superhero stories teach that, but this one also talks about celebrity power. Leslie had a ton of power, which she claims she worked harder to gain than other people in her field. Because she viewed herself as an underdog as well as the main character, she felt she could use her power to whatever means she wanted, and in doing so, she put both herself and her audience in danger. Not only that, but she also used her power to talk down someone else who was doing nothing but trying to help people. And even after the dude tries to save her from her own stupidity and selfishness, she still views him as the aggressor of her problems.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Excuse you? Look what you did to me.
They might be able to help you.
I'm pure energy now. And besides, I got enough help from you the other night.
There is not one iota of self-reflection in this girl. Then, when Leslie gets actual power, instead of making any kind of positive change, she goes straight to exploiting people. And no, this isn't a Peter Parker, I'll be nice to everyone who was always nice to me situation. Livewire takes advantage of everyone, even the people who helped her and even the people who supported her. She was always a scumbag. She just needed enough power to spread her misery farther than Superman. There's the popular phrase that power corrupts, but as you get older, you begin to realize that it's often more true that power simply reveals what's already there. In my field of being an influencer, I unfortunately see this type of abuse of power more often than I'd like, which is partially why this episode stuck out to me. Again, the theme's not that deep, and I'd argue Megamind teaches the same lesson way better, but I'm happy it's there for kids to chew on. With a sexy and likable villain, as well as some decent, albeit they simple themes, this basic Superman episode can shockingly leave a bit of an impact. This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.